So started driving race cars at a really, really young age. Went from quarter midgets to dirt track. I had to take a year off. I remember I was in high school and I really, really wanted to go straight from quarter midget to a full-size car. But my dad's like, no, you got to pit for a year. So one of his buddies was running a street stock and went and pit for him for a year so I could kind of learn what that was about, because obviously you're dealing with something much larger than a little quarter midget. And did the street stock pit for that guy for a year. I think it was my birthday. That's when the thing showed up. So my dad ended up buying that car from his friend at the time. And we were having a birthday party at my house. And all of a sudden I hear this whoom, 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 whoom outside. I'm like, what in the world's going on? And go outside and here was that street stock. And that's where I started in dirt track. Did that for a few years. Got into a super stock, which is a little bit juicier car. Did that for a few years, and then the track in Billings actually closed, so there wasn't really any racing. And at that particular point in time is when I was going into TV, so I didn't really have the schedule to accommodate, racing every weekend if I was going to make that career move into television. So yeah, I've done a lot of things.
That's awesome. So I was super curious. Like, you and I have talked before, and you've kind of talked about the race car thing, like you've touched on it. But I never asked you the backstory kind of behind it. And that had to have been awesome, first of all, to do that.
Yeah.
But second of all, to have parents that supported you doing that.
I will say, so I was an only child, like full transparency. So I didn't have, brothers and sisters to battle it out with. And, don't get me wrong. Like, I wasn't raised in a loaded household. We didn't have money pouring out of every freaking corner of the place. But, my parents gave me a lot of opportunities growing up. And I was incredibly fortunate to have those. Racing. I played hockey. I played every sport known to man growing up. I really wasn't limited on what I did growing up. Now, don't get me wrong. I didn't have this stuff force-fed to me. My parents made me work for it. It's not like I was just like, oh, here you go. Here's a race car. I had to learn how to tear the motors apart. I had to learn how to do maintenance. I had to mow the grass. I had my chores listed, So it wasn't just handed to me, but my parents really gave me a lot of opportunities growing up, and it really shaped me into what I am today.